It is a pleasure to introduce today's keynote guest speaker, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President of the African Development Bank Group.
Thank you very much, and good morning to every one of you. I wish to thank the Dean, Sumitra Dutta, faculty, and of course the students of Oxford University Side Business School for the great honor of being your commencement speaker at your graduation ceremony today. The global financial architecture is failing development in the world today as it faces multiple challenges. The global financial architecture needs to be modified to tackle these global challenges more effectively and to accelerate the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. I encourage you as leaders to ensure that these vast resources are directed towards the collective good. More than ever, the world needs change makers. Change makers that can carry the love of God into a turbulent world. Change makers with a heart. Live for others, do not live for yourselves. Then you will have fully made the only wealth that counts, the wealth of creating hope for others. Now, do not get me wrong, we need wealth. We just have to make sure we are not creating wealth at the expense of our common existence. As MBA graduates, you have been provided with the tools you need to help generate more wealth and to manage corporations and economies around the world better. Bring into the workplace a mindset, a determination to promote transparency, inclusion, honesty, and integrity. A determination not to be sucked in by the slimy allure of insatiable corporate greed that has wreaked havoc on the lives of billions through creative accounting, misrepresentation of the valuation of companies, or the selling of securities that lead to insecurities. There is no doubt that the withering down of financial regulations that prevent unbridled speculative activities led to 2008 global financial crisis. The tightening and toughening of regulatory environment put back the guardrails. But those guardrails are now being gradually removed. This may portend well for quick wealth creation for just a few, but could trigger greater risk-taking and financial speculation again, all oiled by greed. Greed is the spark that leads to financial forest fires that blaze unchecked until all in its path is consumed. There is a need for greater regulation to protect the lives and livelihoods of millions of people from predatory practices of speculators. But more than ever, there is a need for strong ethical and governance standards in financial institutions and corporations. There is a litany of business executives who have been derailed by greed and succumbed to unethical behavior, financial gimmicks, creative accounting, and fraud. There is no alternative truth, ladies and gentlemen. Truth is truth. About 4 years ago, I wanted to raise the capital of the African Development Bank Group. Now, a major shareholder who spoke with me at the time said, "This is dead on arrival. You are a first-time president. No first-time president in the history of the bank since 1964 has dared to do anything like that." Subsequently, a barrage of others expressed similar sentiments. I was undeterred. My team and I were convinced that we were on the right path. We persevered. 2 years afterwards, the shareholders of the African Development Bank unanimously approved the increase in the capital of the bank from $93 billion to $208 billion, the largest capital increase in the history of the bank since its establishment in 1964. And we achieved even more because of that. Last year, the African Development Bank was ranked as the best multilateral development finance institution in the world. This year, the African Development Bank was ranked as the most transparent financial institution in the world for lending operations to governments. An African tree you may all be familiar with is called the baobab tree. Its trunks are huge, and under it are elders in our villages who will gather and tell stories or hold meetings. If you try to wrap your hands around the baobab tree, it is impossible. But if you join hands together with several others, your collective arms can embrace the baobab tree. That is what I call, in my leadership approach, the baobab approach. Earlier this year, we wanted to support Africa to mitigate the effects of disruption in global food supplies due to the Russian-Ukraine war. We had developed plans for countries across Africa to be self-sufficient in food within 5 years. But now we needed to have this financed. I told my team, deploy the baobab approach. We did. We worked with development partners from around the world. Within 6 weeks of the summit, we had raised $70 billion in commitments to implement investments around Africa. The most powerful instrument you will find in your hand is the power of your pen. When you reach positions of leadership, use that pen to positively change the destinies of people in your office, in your neighborhood, in your city, in your nation, and in the world. Let that ink that flows be the ink of kindness that always flows from your heart. Now I want you to go out and make a difference in the world. May God put wind behind your sails. God bless you all, and thank you very much.